I'm Linda Rourke. I'm from Abilene, Texas.
I'm Susan Lynch. My location's in Wilmington, North Carolina.
I'm Chris Seaver, and along with my business partner, Chuck Lehman, we own the Carmel and Fishers, Indiana locations.
My name is Mac Innocent. I'm from Miramar, Florida, and I'm the owner of the Any Lab Test Now location in Miramar, Florida.
My name is Patrick Heitkamp, and I have 3 Any Lab Test Now locations in the state of South Dakota.
First of all, I'm a registered medical technologist. I was at a turning point in my life where I wanted a full-time occupation, and I've been in a laboratory all my life and kind of behind the scenes. And this drew me from behind the scenes to in the front. And I love laboratory testing, and so it was a perfect fit. And I saw what a wonderful niche this franchise met. And as I saw where we could meet people's needs by giving them laboratory testing at a really great price. And it was just like, zap, that's my place. I want to do this.
I was looking for a part-time job, and there was an ad in the paper for a Friday, Saturday, and I thought that was perfect. I was working part-time for a physician in town, and I've always worked in the lab since I got out of college. And I went and applied. The owner of the store at that time hired me, and within 6 months I was in love with the concept.
Well, we got into this business because Chuck needed a test. His doctor had ordered a test, and he needed one, so there wasn't any lab test now in the area. He went in there as a customer first, said, this is a pretty good operation. And so he looked into it a little more, and it intrigued him, and we got to talking about it farther down the line. He said, this is an interesting business model. What do you think of this? So the more we looked at it and did our due diligence, we said, this is a viable business. Let's try this. So we went to Discovery Day, and the more we looked at it, the more we liked it.
I've been in the paramedical industry for years. We do the life insurance physicals, and I had a lot of people approaching me wondering if why they were getting their blood tested for insurance, if they could also have additional tests done. And it's not as easy as it sounds because you need a doctor's order for a lot of them. And so I did my research, and I kept coming across the franchise Any Lab Test Now, and their concept is perfect for what I needed. Where there's a doctor in the background that orders all the tests, and people can have any tests they want because there's not a doctor's order. We're not diagnosing anything. We're not treating anything. We're just giving them information. So if somebody likes to have a test done, all we need is their information, and they just pay cash, and it's just as easy as that.
Well, I practice as a doctor of physical therapy down in South Florida, and I really love what I do, but I wanted to also expand and have my own business. So as I was looking for different business models, I ran into Any Lab Test Now, and then I was able to come to Atlanta and go through Discovery. And then I saw that, wow, this is something that I can definitely do, because one of the most important things in my case was that I would be able to continue practicing as a doctor of physical therapy, but at the same time being able to run a successful business. So a business that I didn't necessarily have to be there all the time, but a business that could complement all the other things that I had to do and all the other things that we had going on.
Any Lab Test Now has no competitors. I know that's arrogant, but it's true. They are the best franchise to do this. There is no other way. They've got the system. I'm 10 years old, and before they really even had it together, they had it together. They know how to market, they know what the public needs, and they help you supply that need. I would never have done this without Any Lab Test Now. They've got it all worked out for you, because I'm not a businessman, I'm a medical technologist. But they made it where I could actually make this thing work.
So I did look at the other competitors, which I really don't feel like there are truly competitors, because we operate at a different level. I really feel like we do as a company. We're well organized. We're very educated by our corporate office. We have more compassion, if you would. I have a competitor in my city that It's just a very different experience. When a customer comes into me and says, "Whew, I went to the other place," and I won't say their name, "the last time, and that was horrible. It was dirty and they were rude. And when I come in here, it's bright and it feels like I'm at a spa and everyone smiles." So we have a different feel, I believe. I think that our owners and our franchisees take more ownership. They have more compassion. They don't run it like it's a convenience store. They have passion for what they're doing.
There are other competitors or providers in this segment, but Any Lab Test Now by far had the best name recognition, and it just looked like they had better policies, procedure, processes. I liked their logo. I liked I liked their website. I liked how everything worked, and seemed like a seamless process for the owners of a lab and also for all the customers.
I did look at a number of segments and different franchise opportunities, but again, when you're looking to start a franchise, you have to really consider the time frame that you have, the amount of money that you're going to spend to open the business, the location, the competition, and the potential for growth. And after I put all that into place, and of course I shared that with my family, we collectively made the decision that, Any Lab Test Now would be the ideal business for us to start in the area that we lived. And it was fortunate because I had some other locations that were open not too far from me, so I had a chance to speak with those owners, and they kind of gave me some insight on what worked, what didn't work. So after my research and speaking with current owners, it really gave us a good foundation to decide, let's go ahead and start with Any Lab Test Now.
One, I always knew I wanted to help people, but it wasn't my whole life. But when you start doing this and you see the impact it has on people's lives, when you're in this franchise, you think, oh, I don't want to sell. But you're not selling. What you're doing is providing a service that's desperately needed out there. And I think it's even more in the future it's going to be needed. We provide a service that people didn't even understand that they need. So that is really one of the bigger functions of the owner, is to educate people as to what we do and how we can help them. And the market is huge.
I'm an owner-operator, I always say. So I draw blood, I do sales, I clean sinks, I brush toilets, I do it all. So from that aspect, I think that's very important that you know your business like that. I think to walk in as an owner and think that you're not going to work in it might be short-sighted. I found it very telling that I had already done everything before I got to the business piece. The business piece is the hardest part for me. I've always worked for someone else. I've always been in the lab and on the backside of it. Patient care, yes, because I drew blood for years. But I never got to interact with my patient like we do in this situation. So when they say to you and they hug you and they, "Oh my God, you've helped me so much. Thank you for getting me this test," or "Thank you for finally I have an answer to something that my doctor's not been paying any attention to and won't even test for." So that feeling that you've actually helped them along their journey is a really good feeling. You don't get that in traditional medicine.
Well, I'm very happy with the feedback because a number of the people that we actually take care of are those without insurance, and they are very grateful. And I've always been in healthcare where people are grateful for what I do, so this is just an extension of what I've been doing before. But when you think of our stakeholders and our customers, it goes beyond the patients. Even the physicians are very thankful because, maybe in the past they've given these patients prescriptions and they didn't come back because they couldn't afford the lab testing. Now they're coming back. So overall, it's been very positive, whether it's from our clinical referrals or whether it's from the people that we do drug testing for, because they want to make sure that their work environments are safe. And by us screening their employees and giving them guidance when it comes to the Florida Drug-Free Work Act that's in Florida, everybody seems appreciative of not only the services that we provide, but also our knowledge.
So we have a wide variety of customers. So we have those that they have health insurance, but they have high deductibles, and they learn that they can come to us for the same testing that they've gotten historically at their doctor's office, but at a much lower price. And it's the same test, it's the same quality, actually tested at a lot of times the same labs that they currently use, but at a fraction of the cost. And then, but we also broadened our customer base to counties and states. So we do some blood draws for the counties when they have DWIs, or we do stuff for the state when there are those that are incarcerated that need to have a DNA paternity test. As long as we pass a background check, they allow us in to assist them in paternity testing, lab work, etc.
Turns out that it was a wonderful experience. It broadened me as a person, but the feedback from clients is so satisfying. Honestly, I don't even have to do social things now because I have so much fun interaction from my clients that I'm very satisfied. It gives you a wonderful sense of fulfillment. And watching your business grow is the biggest high. Okay, let's say it. Finding new clients and building your business is so much fun. And I am actually a science nerd, so who knew I like this? It makes you discover things about yourself, and it's all good. You're helping people, you're making money. It's a win-win.
I have our FSR, which is our franchise support rep. Mine is Melanie. She's wonderful. I can pick up my phone at any time and call her, and she answers. She's very supportive. If she doesn't have the answer, she finds it for me. I'm able to call Terry. They're easily accessible. I don't feel like they're ever not there for me. They've answered my questions no matter how difficult or simple they may be. I found, and in the beginning I was afraid to call. I wasn't quite sure what to expect when I first came on board. I've never owned a business. It wasn't even on my bucket list, so to speak. Like I said, it found me. I didn't go looking for it. And for that reason, I didn't know how to ask for help. I didn't know when I needed it. I just kept, going. And so when I finally figured out that they were actually going to make this much easier for me, I go to them now. And so they're an integral part of being successful. To be able to reach out to them, they can answer the questions, they can help you, they give you advice, training templates, so to speak. They can really get you to where you need to be.
There's a huge support from the corporate office that really makes Any Lab Test Now stand apart. And just look at the marketing stuff that they rolled out today. That's a great indicator. I think a lot of people do walk in and they go, well, I don't need a franchise. I could do this on my own. And that's really short-sighted, and they don't realize exactly what they're getting into.
The support I get from Any Lab Test Now corporate franchise has been amazing. One thing about going with a franchise like Any Lab Test Now, we can focus on our business. We don't have to worry about the marketing, or we don't have to worry about trying to get contracts or negotiate pricing for testing. Corporate does all that for us, so we can actually just work the plan. And I like structure, and so I like that, the branding. I like that the colors they have, the way our offices are supposed to be set up. They help us with our portals. They help us, the website. Now they're even expanding we just have a brand new website coming out that's going to be much better for the franchisee and for the customers, and there's going to be the call to action. So if somebody goes on the website, they can actually order a test right there from the website. They can pay for it right there at the website, and it'll direct them to the franchisee. If I live in South Dakota, they will be able to select, my location, and then they will be able to order the test and come into my facility to be tested. So Any Lab Test Now is by far superior to any other labs or franchises in this segment.
Okay. Well, the support I've received from franchisor has been great. Terry is someone I've worked with from day one. I'm happy that she's back now. Clarissa, and I can keep going on, even my FSR, Erica, everybody's been very supportive. And the support level kind of changes based on what I'm experiencing. There are some things that as an owner, if you really want to go into this franchise, that you have to take upon yourself, because they have to do more with local issues and local challenges. But on the national aspect, that's where I think the corporate team really comes into play. And And I must say that now the support and the tools that they have now are much more expansive and much more detailed and much more applicable than it was 6-7 years ago when I started. So it's great to see that the people that are coming in now have more tools and more support. And some of us who actually started through this program are the ones that helped develop these tools and kind of said, hey, we need this and we need this. So I just see the company continues to grow, and the more it grows, I think the more the corporate team will grow in designing and creating tools, which will help us all. Because in the end, the whole goal is for all of us to be successful, and it's in their best interest to provide everybody on the front lines the tools that they need to do that.
One, you can't do it without the franchise, period. First of all, I didn't have the business sense. I didn't have access to all the pricing. I didn't have access to all the education. The training's tremendous. They have really made this so, I want to say easy, but actually quite doable. You have to work at it and you have to learn, but I love learning, and so that was also part of the fun.
Yeah, I think the future looks really good, mainly because we have such a strong willingness to adapt to situations. As the medical fields change, as the rules change, as insurance changes, as long as we adapt and look for new opportunities, I think we're good.
We're able to help them facilitate, whether we're selling it to them or whether we're collecting for them. We're able to facilitate something that the other labs are not. So I feel like we're an integral part of our future in the medical community.
Well, as far as the business model, I'm happy with the changes that I've seen so far. In healthcare, all over, when it comes to healthcare, I see some changes that are occurring. It's kind of like retail as well, where some of the brick and mortar models are changing. As a company, in order for us to stay ahead of the curve, I think we have to adapt to those changes. We just came from a meeting where they're saying our website is changing, and there's cooperation with e-commerce, there's cooperation with ordering tests online, and then getting those people to come to your clinic or getting those people to come to your locations. I think that's the direction we need to be, because we have to stay in front of the curve, because competition will come in different forms. But if we use the technology that's available and we use the knowledge, not only from our corporate team, but also from the owners and the medical assistants at all levels, I think that's going to help Any Lab Test Now stay ahead of the curve so that we can be relevant and so that we can also be successful.